आप देख रहे हैं हमारी खास पेशकश डिजिटल बैठक मेरे यानी श्रुति शर्मा के साथ। और ये स्पेशल इसलिए है क्योंकि माय लाइफ माय गोल्स पर हम ये बैठक कर रहे हैं। ये एक ऐसा अभियान है जो TV9 नेटवर्क, कला और संस्कृति मंत्रालय यानी यूनियन मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कल्चर के साथ मिलके आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव के अंतर्गत लाइफस्टाइल फॉर एनवायरनमेंट यानी लाइफ, जो कि प्रधानमंत्री मोदी द्वारा शुरू की गई पहल है, इसको आगे बढ़ा रहा है। इसका उद्देश्य है हमारे पर्यावरण को बचाने की पहल जो एक मजबूत कड़ी बने, जिससे कि लोगों के प्रति जागरूकता बढ़े और लोग पर्यावरण को बचाने के लिए इस प्रयास से जुड़े। और इस प्रयास से जुड़ रहे हैं हमारे आज के गेस्ट भी। और आज का डिस्कशन का टॉपिक रहेगा सस्टेनेबल टूरिज्म। क्या ये फीजिबल है या सिर्फ फैशनेबल है? और हमारे साथ खास मेहमान भी जुड़ेंगे। उससे पहले आपको बता दें कि सस्टेनेबल टूरिज्म है क्या। सस्टेनेबल टूरिज्म इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट that covers the complete tourism experience, including concern for economic, social, and environmental issues, as well as attention to improving tourist experiences and addressing the needs of the host communities. आपको बता दें हमारे साथ खास गेस्ट जो जुड़ रहे हैं आज, उनसे परिचय करा देते हैं आपका। ज्योति मयाल है जो कि प्रेसिडेंट है ताई की। साथ ही हमारे साथ है सुभाष गोयल जो कि मेंबर हैं नेशनल एडवाइजरी काउंसिल मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ टूरिज्म के। राजन सहगल है, ही इज द को चेयर PHDCCI। और साथ ही संदीप हैं जो कि MD है जैक्सन हॉस्पिटैलिटी के। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। एंड एज यू ऑल नो, जैसा कि मैंने अभी बताया भी, आज का टॉपिक हमारा रहेगा सस्टेनेबल टूरिज्म पे। इज इट फीजिबल और फैशनेबल? इंडीड दिस इज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, ओपन क्वेश्चन टू ऑल। आप में से कोई भी शुरू कर सकता है। क्या लगता है आपको, ये एक मेयर फैशन है या फीजिबल है सही में?
देखिए इंडिया इज वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट कंट्रीज जहाँ पे मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट है। और शुरू से आप देखिए इंडियन कल्चर और इंडियन जैसे जो बसोई कम्युनिटी है राजस्थान में, वो पेड़ों को, और काफ़ी कम्युनिटीज़ हैं, ट्राइबल कम्युनिटीज़ हैं जो पेड़ों की पूजा करते हैं। तो ये एक एंशियंट हमारी जो सिस्टम ऑफ आयुर्वेदा भी है जो कि पेड़ों को बचाता है और उसी से मेडिसिन एक्सट्रैक्ट होते हैं। तो इंडिया में एक एनवायरनमेंट को और रिसाइकल करने को शुरू से ही देयर इज बीन अ लॉट ऑफ इट इज़ इनबिल्ट। तो पर पर्टिकुलरली जो डेवलप्ड नेशंस हैं वहाँ पर इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट के साथ कुछ पोर्शंस इंडिया में जो भी हम वेस्टर्नर्स को ब्लाइंडली एप कर रहे हैं, हमारी जो ओरिजिनल ऑर्गेनिक मैन्योर थी उसकी जगह हम फर्टिलाइज़र लेके आ गए हैं। सो ये सारी चीज़ें हमारे एनवायरनमेंट को इफ़ेक्ट कर रही हैं और सस्टेनेबिलिटी को इफ़ेक्ट कर रही हैं। जहाँ तक टूरिज़्म का सवाल है, टूरिज़्म में सस्टेनेबिलिटी इसलिए ज़रूरी है, जैसे अब माउंटेन्स पे हम जाते हैं तो हमने एक कोड बनाया हुआ है जो हमारे एडवेंचर टूर ऑपरेटर्स हैं और आईटो की तरफ से भी, कि हमने वहाँ पर अपना गार्बेज या अपना वेस्ट नहीं रखना, और जितना वेस्ट है वो हम अपने साथ, चाहे वो प्लास्टिक बॉटल्स हैं चाहे कुछ भी है, उसको हम कैरी बैक करेंगे। इसी तरीके से गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ रूल्स बनाए हुए हैं। हमारे मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फॉरेस्ट एंड एनवायरनमेंट में भी कुछ रूल्स हैं कि जैसे दिल्ली में रिज है, रिज को आप कट नहीं कर सकते, और वहाँ पर जो पेट्रोल पंप्स वगैरह भी थे और वो भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर से वो हट गए। इसी तरीके से जितनी भी हम एनवायरनमेंट को प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं इंडिया में, मैं नहीं समझता और किसी कंट्री में करते हैं। वर्ल्ड का लार्जेस्ट मैंग्रोव फॉरेस्ट भी इंडिया में है जी। और वाइल्ड लाइफ भी हम काफी प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं।
सुभाष जी, आपने जैसे बोला कि गोल्स हैं, काफी सारे रूल्स जो बनाए गए हैं इस चीज के लिए, बेशक बनाए गए हैं, बहुत ही बेहतरीन बात है बनाए गए हैं क्या, लेकिन लोगों में इस बात की अवेयरनेस है? क्योंकि रूल्स तो बन गए हैं लेकिन वो रूल्स जब तक जनता तक नहीं पहुंचेंगे, जो टूरिज्म के लिए लोग आ रहे हैं उन तक नहीं पहुंचेंगे, तो रूल्स का कोई फ़ायदा ज़्यादा दिखेगा नहीं। तो अवेयरनेस लेवल के बारे में आपका क्या कहना है?
देखिए, जो रिकॉग्नाइज्ड टूर ऑपरेटर्स हैं, चाहे वो आईटो के हों, टाई के हों, टफी के हों, जो भी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, उनमें डूज एंड डोंट्स सबको बहुत अच्छी तरह रेगुलरली हमारी मीटिंग्स होती हैं, सेमिनार्स होते हैं। और मेरे ख्याल में जितने रिकॉग्नाइज्ड मिनिस्ट्री से रिकॉग्नाइज्ड टूर ऑपरेटर्स हैं, दे आर ऑल अवेयर of the do's and don'ts. और जितने भी हमारे फॉरेन टूरिस्ट आते हैं या इंडियन टूरिस्ट भी आते हैं, उनको हम एक वॉच डॉग की तरह सिर्फ उनको गाइड नहीं करते, बट उनको जो एनवायरनमेंट है उसको प्रोटेक्ट भी करते हैं. पर कुछ अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में ऐसे हो रहा है कि हमारे माउंटेन्स में भी और अपने आप ही लोग पिकनिक मनाने जाते हैं और
जी
वहाँ पर ट्रैश लगा देते हैं.
जी
तो उससे हमारे एनवायरनमेंट में बहुत फर्क पड़ रहा है. और दूसरा, अब जैसे अपना ई व्हीकल्स बहुत ज़्यादा हो रही हैं. टाटाज ने भी
जी
जो काफ़ी, मतलब हर मैन्युफैक्चरर जो है वो आजकल ई व्हीकल्स की तरफ चल रहा है.
जी
तो इससे भी एनवायरनमेंट में फ़र्क पड़ेगा और पोल्यूशन में काफ़ी
बिल्कुल.
फर्क पड़ेगा.
सुभाष जी, आपसे हम जुड़ेंगे दोबारा, आप बने रहिएगा. हम ज्योति मयाल हैं हमारे साथ, जो कि काफ़ी करीबी से टूरिज़्म को जानती हैं और काफ़ी सालों से जुड़ी हैं टूरिज़्म से. ज्योति, आपका क्या कहना है इस बारे में? फीजिबल है, फैशनेबल है, कितना फीजिबल अगर है फीजिबल तो?
थैंक यू फॉर आस्किंग दैट क्वेश्चन. आई थिंक ये बहुत ज़रूरी है जानना, बिकॉज आई फील ये अभी ना फैशनेबल है और ना ही फीजिबल है. ये दोनों चीज़ें अभी मिक्स में चल रहे हैं. बिकॉज जो हमने स्टडी की लास्ट, 54% पीपल वे अवेयर कि व्हाट इज सस्टेनेबल टूरिज्म, बट 46 वे स्टिल नॉट अवेयर व्हाट इज सस्टेनेबिलिटी. फॉरगेट द टूरिज्म पार्ट. एंड वी डिड द स्टडी रिसेंटली, और उसमें हमें पता चला कि कईयों को तो मालूम भी नहीं है. जैसे ये बहुत इट्स नोन कि सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक है, ये हमको यूज करना चाहिए, हमको ये गार्बेज में ग्रीन में डालना चाहिए, ये ब्लू में डालना चाहिए. ये एक नॉर्मल कंज्यूमर को भी नहीं मालूम है कि हम कौन सा सिंगल प्लास्टिक है. वी ओनली नो कि हमें नो टू प्लास्टिक्स बोलना है, पर क्या सारे प्लास्टिक्स को नो बोलना है? इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी. क्या सारे जो भी तंत्र आ रहे हैं खाने पीने के, किसको नहीं बेचना? सो वी हैव टू एक्चुअली एजुकेट द मेंबर्स, बिकॉज नॉट द मेंबर्स, आई मीन द एंटायर वर्ल्ड, टू गो टुवर्ड्स इट. Because sustainability के 3 aspects हैं. It's not only about tourism. It has a social impact. It has an environmental impact. It also has the economic impact. So and all these 3 things हमने अभी देखा है, कितनी बारिश आ रही है, कितना floods आ रहे हैं, कई जगह ड्राफ्ट पड़ रहा है. All this is sustainability का effect, after effect, pre-effect हो रहा है अभी तो. And very quickly we are bouncing towards the country, and जहाँ हमारा कार्बन एमिशन बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ रहा है, एयरक्राफ्ट्स की वजह से बहुत बढ़ रहा है. हाउ आर वी गोइंग टू बी कंट्रोलिंग द एंटायर थिंग? पॉलिसीज बनानी बहुत आसान है, डॉक्यूमेंट्स बनाने बहुत आसान है, पर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन इट्स गोइंग टू टेक अ लॉन्ग टाइम. एंड आई जस्ट होप एंड प्रे दैट इट कम्स इन to not be a fashion but feasible, and it should be in the DNA of every person in this country to follow that sustainability model. Then only it will drive, and that's why we are starting young. हम schools में भी education start कर दी हम लोग ने. अभी national education policy निकाली हमने, where I'm the chairperson of THSC. हम उसको भी डाल रहे हैं कि स्कूलों से start करिए आप कि sustainability क्या है. tourism तो जुड़ता जाएगा, tourism तो आप और मैं सारे जनी दुनिया ही कर रही है. But sustainability has to be built into your DNA to take it forward, and then it will become very, very feasible.
This was tourism, so we have hospitality also. Mr. Sandeep Tawlekar is with us. He's the MD of the Jackson Hospitality. Mr. Sandeep, would you like to add on to this, please?
Actually, I first of all want to thank you for inviting me amongst stalwarts. You know, I never thought I would get this opportunity, but thank you. And I'm telling you, the first 2 comments that I heard are so right in a way. Let me give you my aspect of it. First of all, I'm representing the HRAWI, which is the Hotel and Restaurant Association of Western India. I also want to tell you that I believe that tourism will become feasible and will become fashionable. But just like a comment was made that are we ready for it today? No. But when I hear young children today in schools, talk about green and sustainability, I get positive vibes that very soon the next generation will talk more about this single-use plastic, about making things more sustainable, because I don't believe we even understand the definition of sustainable in this generation, in this generation, we are just takers, and to be sustainable, we have to share and we have to sustain all our resources. This is not happening. But am I positive that will it happen? Absolutely. The hospitality industry is already taking major steps towards it. Big companies like the Taj, ITC, I'm talking about Indian companies, are doing an immense job of becoming, sustainable. They're using what we term now the circular economy, okay, which we won't get into in detail now, but and a lot of them have become net zero in energy, okay, and soon moving towards net zero water and waste. So are we doing our part for it? Absolutely. I am positive.
Sure. I have another guest with us, Rajan Sehgal, and Rajan ji, आपसे जानना चाहेंगे आपके क्या thoughts हैं? The first thoughts that are coming to your mind right now, whatever we've discussed so far.
Yeah, Shruti ji, thank you very much for inviting all of us. And ये बहुत अच्छा सब्जेक्ट आपने लिया है. सुभाष जी, ज्योति जी, संदीप जी हमारे बहुत काबिल ट्रैवल इंडस्ट्री के लोग हैं. बट as you know, the pandemic में और has given us, or the nature has given us messages from time to time. But whether it's tourism or any segment, we are not taking this call seriously. एंड एज यू सेड इन द बिगिनिंग कि ये फैशनेबल वर्ड है या इसको हम वाकई में इस्तेमाल करते हैं, तो आई थिंक अभी तक ये एक फैशनेबल वर्ड है. वी आर मेकिंग स्मार्ट सिटीज, बट आई थिंक हमें अपने लोगों को पहले स्मार्ट बनाना पड़ेगा. अगर हमारे लोग स्मार्ट बन गए तो सिटी अपने आप स्मार्ट बन जाएगी. आपने देखा हमारे इंडिया इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट टूरिज्म हब इन द वर्ल्ड, बिकॉज हम टूरिस्ट को थ्रू आउट द ईयर टूरिज्म के लिए इनवाइट कर सकते हैं, राइट फ्रॉम जम्मू कश्मीर से लेके साउथ इंडिया में. एंड हमारे पास हेरिटेज है, हमारे पास माउंटेन्स हैं, बीचेस हैं, वाइल्ड लाइफ है, जंगल्स हैं, कल्चर है, फेस्टिवल्स हैं. बट अगर हम इसको सस्टेन नहीं कर पाएंगे, बिकॉज सस्टेनेबिलिटी इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर ग्रोथ ऑफ द इकोनॉमी, फॉर एम्प्लॉयमेंट, फॉर एनीथिंग. सो ये जो चीजें हम अभी तक इनको फॉलो नहीं कर पा रहे, दिस पेंडेमिक हैज टॉट अस दैट वी हैव टू रिस्पेक्ट द नेचर. हमें नई डेस्टिनेशंस को ढूंढना पड़ेगा. हम एक ही डेस्टिनेशन पे एक वीकेंड पे या एक लॉन्ग वीकेंड पे लाइनें लग जाती हैं गाड़ियों की, वो हमें अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करनी पड़ेगी. बिकॉज हमारे इंडिया में इतने डेस्टिनेशन है और स्पेशली पेंडेमिक के बाद इतनी डोमेस्टिक टूरिज्म बढ़ा है कि हमें उन डेस्टिनेशंस को अवेयरनेस और उनके लिए एक कनेक्टिविटी, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और चीजें बनानी पड़ेंगी, जिससे कि हम ये जो एक पर्टिकुलर ट्रैफिक शिमला, मसूरी, नैनीताल, कश्मीर की तरफ भागता है, इसको थोड़ा सा रोकना पड़ेगा. बट थोड़ा सा मैं आपको बताऊंगा कि जम्मू कश्मीर टूरिज्म ने एक पूरी दुनिया में एग्जांपल सेट कर दिया है. जब सारा दुनिया रुकी हुई थी तो दे हैव शोन दैट वी कैन वेलकम द टूरिस्ट इन अ बिग वे. एंड उन्होंने ना सिर्फ पहलगाम, गुलमर्ग और श्रीनगर को प्रमोट किया, उन्होंने पिछले एक साल में कम से कम 6-7 नए डेस्टिनेशन बना दिए हैं और उसमें इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और बाकी चीजें कनेक्टिविटी के ऊपर भी जोर दिया है.
मैं जाना चाहूँगी सुभाष गोयल जी के पास. आपसे जानना चाहेंगे कि इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए क्या बैरियर्स आ रहे हैं, अगर हम ब्रॉडर स्केल की बात करें, जिस तरह की अभी डिस्कशन चल रही है और जिस तरह की डिमांड हो रही है, आपको क्या लगता है क्या चैलेंजेस आ रहे हैं या आए हैं टू एक्चुअली इम्प्लीमेंट दीज चेंजेस ऑन अ ब्रॉडर स्केल?
नहीं, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन इज द नेम ऑफ द गेम. अगर हम, जैसे ज्योति जी ने कहा कि हम पॉलिसीज बना लेते हैं
जी.
और अगर वो इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं होंगी तो इट्स ओनली ऑन पेपर. तो एक मैंने कई बार कहा है कि पब्लिक हेल्थ, हाइजीन एंड एनवायरनमेंट सस्टेनेबिलिटी शुड बी मेड कंपल्सरी सब्जेक्ट्स इन ऑल प्राइमरी स्कूल्स, नॉट जस्ट गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स बट जितने भी हमारे प्राइवेट स्कूल्स भी हैं, क्योंकि वी हैव टू कैच देम यंग. जो नेक्स्ट जनरेशन है उसको हमें तैयार करना पड़ता है. और जैसे राजन ये
बात आपने बिल्कुल ठीक कही सुभाष जी. आपसे हम और चर्चा आगे इस पे मैं जारी रखेंगे, बल्कि बिल्कुल आपने जो पॉइंट बोला, क्योंकि आपने बोला तो मैं बस एक चीज़ ऐड ऑन करने चाहूँगी कि ये एक हमारा टॉपिक ऑफ डिस्कशन भी रहा है डिजिटल बैठक में, जहाँ हमने लाइफ गोल्स को स्कूल्स के करिकुलम में मैंडेटरी की बात कही गई है, जो कि बिल्कुल ठीक आपने भी कहा है और मुझे खुशी हुई कि आप भी इस बात से सहमत है। प्लीज कंटिन्यू।
नहीं, और जो जैसे राजन ने कहा था
जी
कि कोरोना वाज अ बिग सिग्नल, पर अभी हमें रोज सिग्नल मिल रहे हैं। आप देखिए, फॉरेस्ट फायर्स पूरे यूरोप में फैली हुई हैं, अमेरिका में फॉरेस्ट फायर्स हो रही हैं, अफ्रीका में भी फॉरेस्ट फायर्स नोटिस करी गई हैं। तो ये एक ग्लोबल वार्मिंग का बहुत ही मतलब वार्निंग है एक। और इस वार्निंग को अगर हम नहीं समझेंगे तो थर्ड वर्ल्ड वॉर से तो नहीं हम डिस्ट्रॉय होंगे, बट हम खुद ही अपने पैर पे कुल्हाड़ी मारेंगे एंड दिस ब्यूटीफुल प्लैनेट ऑफ आवर्स विल बी डिस्ट्रॉयड एंड इसको वी हैव टू सेव दिस प्लैनेट फॉर द सक्सीडिंग जनरेशंस। अदरवाइज क्या होगा कि जो हमारा इतना सुंदर प्लैनेट है इसको हमने प्रिजर्व नहीं करा और इसको ग्रीन जो एरिया है जो हर साल पूरे वर्ल्ड का डिक्रीज हो रहा है उसको हमने दोबारा से रिहैबिलिटेट नहीं करा तो दिस प्लैनेट विल बिकम अ बॉल ऑफ फायर और इट विल रोटेट अराउंड द सन लाइक अनदर बॉल ऑफ फायर एंड ह्यूमैनिटी विल गेट एक्सटिंक्ट। तो वी कैनॉट ब्रिंग बैक द एक्सटिंक्ट एनिमल्स, वी कैनॉट ब्रिंग बैक। आप देख रहे हैं कि वो CNN में भी और वायन टीवी में भी एक बड़ा अच्छा वो आता है कि किस तरीके से सी लाइफ डिस्ट्रॉय हो रही है, किस तरीके से प्लास्टिक कंज्यूम हो रहा है, क्या नाम, फिशेस में और इसमें, और कितने जीव जंतु जो हैं वो प्लास्टिक की वजह से मारे जा रहे हैं। तो इसलिए जब तक इसको वॉर फुटिंग में और एक रेवोल्यूशनरी तरीके से नहीं करा जाएगा, ठीक है, हमारी गवर्नमेंट काफ़ी कर रही है, विंड मिल्स भी, सोलर एनर्जी की तरफ भी मोदी जी ने बहुत ज़बरदस्त वो बनाया है। और सोलर एनर्जी, आप आई वाज ट्रैवलिंग इन दिस गुजरात एंड राजस्थान एंड देयर वर माइल्स एंड माइल्स ऑफ सोलर पैनल्स एंड विंड मिल्स। तो देख के बड़ी खुशी होती है कि यस वी आर ऑन द राइट डायरेक्शन। मैं होटल क्लासिफिकेशन कमेटी में रहा हूँ, वहाँ पर भी होटल्स जितने हैं, चाहे वो ITC है चाहे कोई भी स्टार होटल है, सबकी रिकॉग्निशन के लिए मैंडेटरी है कि व्हाट हाउ दे आर रिसाइकलिंग द वेस्ट। और सारे होटल्स में, 5 स्टार होटल्स में और जितने बड़े होटल्स हैं उनमें रिसाइकलिंग प्लांट, वाटर रिसाइकलिंग एंड गार्बेज रिसाइकलिंग सारा लग रहा है। और इस तरीके से मैंने अभी ऑर्डर कराया कि अपने घर पे भी सोलर पैनल्स लगाएं ताकि हम किसी तरीके से जितना हम थोड़ा बहुत कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं। अगर हर आदमी ट्री प्लांटेशन में करे, हमारी एनिवर्सरी जब होती है, अब हमारी 50th एनिवर्सरी है स्टिक की, तो हमने 50 प्लांट्स लगाते हैं हर साल। हम हर एनिवर्सरी पे 15-20 प्लांट्स ट्रीज प्लांट करते हैं।
वेरी थॉटफुल ऑफ यू एंड आई थिंक एवरीबॉडी शुड एक्चुअली फॉलो दिस। सुभाष जी आपके पास आएंगे, ज्योति आपके पास मैं आना चाहूँगी और आपसे जानना चाहूँगी कि कुछ ऐसे डेस्टिनेशन हैं जहाँ पे जो सक्सेसफुल डेस्टिनेशन जहाँ पर सस्टेनेबल टूरिज्म की प्रैक्टिसेस हैं और हम देख पा रहे हैं, क्योंकि मैं भी बहुत इंक्विजिटिव हूँ जानने के लिए कि ऐसा कुछ कहीं सक्सेसफुल एग्जाम्पल है जो हम जान सकते हैं और जहाँ से हम इंस्पिरेशन ले सकते हैं।
Yeah, Shruti, before I move that, I'll just like to add on sustainability. एक चीज जो बहुत important है, the day people realize कि every person in their own village, in their own cities, in their own states recognize what sustainability brings to them, because the end is not only about green tourism or bringing in the wind turbines and recycling. The end result is that the locals are going to be benefiting a lot out of it. So when we are talking about tourism here, I like to emphasize what do we really understand from going sustainable tourism, because it's going to be very profitable to the people who are there living locally. So it's like being what our Prime Minister says, being vocal for local is what comes into the great aspect.
Totally.
Because every person will be gaining in sustainability, because all the resources, all the natural resources are going to be protected in their cities and states. They'll have more food grains, they'll have more of, because sustainable tourism का मतलब है आप जो वहाँ कमा रहे हैं उसी स्टेट में लग रहा है या उसी सिटी में लग रहा है या उसी विलेज में लग रहा है. That will bring up the whole country. So I think it's a huge initiative by the government, which is getting into the life prospect to say how we can actually bring this further. Rome was not built in one day, so everything is not going to happen overnight. Suddenly, this word has become fashionable and is going to become feasible. So we will drive it because we are a country that can drive, and we are capable of driving all dreams. And we've seen that happen in this country. I think there's a huge opportunity for that to come into India and to stay there. Coming back to your destinations, there are a couple of countries which are following it very closely, like Denmark, Copenhagen, Finland. There's that wildlife in South Africa, the table plateaus there. So there are a lot of destinations like this who are absolutely on the sustainable model. The latest that is coming up is Saudi Arabia. The Alula is coming up, which is a totally environmental friendly with all environmental properties, no fuel used at all. So everything is technology. But even in our country, we have some places in Kerala which are run that way. We also have in Rajasthan that's run that way. We also, of course, Singapore, Thailand also have the same prospects. So there are a lot of countries who are smaller
Ji.
and have been able to drive that much quicker. India being a huge country, it will take a little bit of time, but we are surely here to deliver. And I'm sure with the team sitting here on your television and with people beyond us, like ITC has always been a green. It's been the first hotel for green initiative. Taj, like Sandeep just said, it's following that. They have a system dedicated to it. So we are all getting into it together. But yes, it just needs to be channelized the right way, put on a process of implementation the right way, and we will achieve it all.
Sandeep, would you like to add on, please?
Yes, so much. My God, Miles is speaking so much truth. Mr. Goyal is saying so much great stuff. May I please add that I'm an optimist, but I'm a pessimist about this generation of Indians. I'm an optimist of what is coming, okay, the next generation, because they speak a lot more, they are much better travelers. Yes, I also want to tell you something very proudly that Jackson Hospitality runs India's first platinum rated green hotel in its class.
That's amazing.
And also in 2 weeks, we are going to be India's first net zero energy hotel in its class. So are we walking the talk? Yes, we are walking the talk. And am I looking at the rest of the executive members of my committee and seeing positive changes happening? Absolutely. In fact, what Ms. Miles said so correctly, about bringing communities into tourism, into hospitality. This whole thing is an ecosystem. It's not one travel agent or a hotel or, a Ministry of Tourism. It's an ecosystem. In fact, what we have done is we have now advertised in our hotel that we should stop using the Turkish towel, which is so standard in India, and use the pancha instead, and we are giving our guest panchas, they're accepting them and using them. We are saving 50% water, and we are saving the local person who's making the panchas and the vegetable dyes. We are so happy doing this. If every hotel can do this, it would be amazing. I cannot speak about the rest of the environment, but at least this much, what we can do, we are doing.
Sure. Rajan, would you like to add on, please?
Yeah, as he said, he has given you the live example which they will be following, already followed, and they will be following soon. So that is a very great example. And I think as far as the schools we are talking, that it should be in the syllabus. But I think instead of teaching, we should take them to the sites and give them practical experience, which is very important, because when I did my graduation and post graduation in tourism, I was very proud student that I will get a job, but they asked me for a practical training, so which is very important. And I think whatever skill education we will be doing in the school or colleges, they should be taken to the sites, they should be taken to the Himalayas, mountains, beaches, forests, and show them what exactly things are they have to do it. I think that will be very important. And we should not go for the numbers. The all the states, the countries are running for number of tourists, but we should go for the quality, not for the quantity. You said the states, I think the Bhutan is the best example for this. They limit their numbers, of the tourists to maintain the environment, the sustainability for their country. And similarly, it was happening in Leh and Ladakh. But I am sorry to say, during the peak season, now it is over flooded with tourists. And this is my only request to all the industry leaders and to the state tourism boards that we have to, India is full of tourism destinations. We have to create and make awareness about the new destination, which is very, very important. That is my say.
मैं जानना चाहूँगी अब ज्योति के पास ही। ज्योति, आपका अब आगे क्या कहना है? ये इम्प्लीमेंटेशन अगर करनी भी है तो इसके लिए क्या क्या करना चाहिए, क्या स्टेप्स उठाने चाहिए एज पर यू, बिकॉज यू आर समबडी हु इज एक्चुअली सीन दिस ऑल फेस टू फेस, सो आपका क्या कहना है इस पे?
So I think the commitment needs to come from each individual in this country. Every citizen should be committed to it. And there are many ways we can drive it. Our government is doing whatever they can do best. They need private partnerships, and that's how we need to move with them. Everything cannot be done by the government. We have to be responsible citizens ourselves, responsible associations to deliver. And we are committed not to only the government. We are committed to our lives, our children's lives, and our grandchildren's lives. So we need to build on those strategies. So we see how we can involve the entire community as a world. The world has to be one community to get into it together to deliver. And there's very small things that you do. In school, if you remember, we used to have these guide programs where, we used to do something and we used to get a small flag to pin on our shoulder and say, oh, we've achieved it all, or we've done something good. It was never about money. It was something we recognized. These are small things that we need to start in school. Do one good deed a day, you get one flag. Put it on your shoulder and feel proud of it. So there are a lot of ways. I'm just giving an example because it starts young. So we need to deliver and see this whole country gets involved. They feel they are doing it for themselves and not that they are obliging the government or obliging someone else, because we are seeing what we are going through. So I think the implementation will come only when we all get involved together as one and we speak one voice, and it's possible. That's why, again, I'm coming back to say everything is possible as long as we are committed to it.
Do you think there's a need for certification or labeling system to identify the, the genuine sustainability tourism when it comes for travelers? क्या वो help करेगा कुछ इस तरह का?
Not really if you ask me, because today every corporate does have a system which has been given as ECG to them, that they have to, it's human one side, resources one side, and the resources have to deliver like a balance sheet. They are going to be getting rebates, and income tax is going to be also judging them. So all these things have already been distributed to every corporate, and the corporates are working like that because they are told to do that. But I think the more awareness needs to be spread. There should be huge marketing that takes place, that everyone realizes what we are talking about in every language. It's not only about Hindi, English, but we need to even educate our helps at home or our people who are serving this industry. And I think we should do it as a community to help them, and we can do that. It's not always about certification. I mean, certification is not what is really required. I don't need a certification to do it. I need my own conscience to be clear to deliver. And that is what I need. वो मेरे को जागरण करनी है अपने में कि मेरे को एक हर इंसान को मदद करनी है और इस दुनिया की मदद करनी है.
जी, लेकिन साथ में चैलेंज भी ये है कि हाउ डू वी इंश्योर द इन्वॉल्वमेंट एंड एम्पावरमेंट, उसके लिए क्या किया जा सकता है? सुभाष जी, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे इस बारे में?
I am very clear that I was a pessimistic about environment, but now seeing the development and the initiative taken during the last 10-15 years, I have a hope. And every dark cloud has a silver lining, and I see the silver lining in this country. But one thing I would suggest to the government is that after school, there should be 1 year of either military service or national service, going to the villages and talking about environment, whether they are farmers or whether it is. So that option should be available like it's in many countries. I know India is a large country, but we used to be very active during our school days in NCC and other things. I think that spirit, like the Boy Scout movement was there during our school times. So I think such movements should also be encouraged, and basically they have to be told and inculcated right from the childhood and the government should make it compulsory. That's one thing government can do. Not only the subjects in the primary and secondary schools, but also after that, 1 year of national service, which should be certified and which should be a precondition. I think that will create a revolution, not only revolution for sustainability, but also will go a long way in eradicating poverty and creating national integration, particularly if students of one state are going to student in another state, and that would really help in reigniting the youth of India and bringing the ancient system which Lord Macaulay had destroyed
Indeed.
of Gurukuls back into our educational and in our society.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल राजन, आप कुछ ऐड करना चाहेंगे?
Yes, India is a very large country as far as the size is concerned and the population. But we take the example of Singapore, that it's a very neat and clean and very systematic country. It's a small country, but they have very disciplined. They are very strict also. But in India, we have to follow the democracy, but to make environment friendly, which is very, very important. We have to be very strict in the laws also. And when Indian goes and behave in Singapore, they should behave in India also, because we have to show some strictness also. If the government will show strictness on this kind of things, I don't think anybody will mind. And this is very, very important to save the world, and especially India.
जी बिल्कुल। अब सस्टेनेबल टूरिज्म की बात आती है तो एक डर ये भी रहता है कि एक बैलेंस बनाना पड़ता है जब आप प्रमोट करते हैं सस्टेनेबल टूरिज्म को, कि आपका जो कल्चर हेरिटेज है, नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज है, वो भी प्रिजर्व हो। क्या ये भी एक कारण हो सकता है सस्टेनेबल टूरिज्म ना करने का? ये एक तरह का डर हो सकता है। संदीप, वुड यू लाइक टू ऐड ऑन टू दिस प्लीज?
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. You're absolutely right. As long as we take and take and take, it will never be sustainable. And is the government responsible for it? No. I believe we all are. And what does the government need to do? Just take us seriously for maybe 5 to 6 years. I'll explain what I mean. If you understand tourism, it involves every part of the government, whether it's economic, social, whether it's finance ministry, whether it's all ministries put together. Just the tourism side of it cannot run this whole show. I believe truly that if the Prime Minister took the portfolio of tourism for 5 years, we could make tourism into at least 20% of our GDP. India is so rich in resources, in beautiful areas, natural beauty, outstanding heritage, culture. I think we could change it. But each citizen has to be awoken for this. And therefore, I'm saying the top man or lady has to put this into place. It cannot be a ministry doing it.
So Jyoti, sure. So Jyoti, you think that travel industry needs to collaborate with some kind of organization, or maybe some environmental organization and some local communities to actually come together and start this kind of a thing? Do you think these kind of collaboration would help in future, or maybe now for that matter?
Collaborations, Shruti, will always work, and that's the need of the hour always in life. You always have to work collaboratively, because that's the only way one can move forward. You can't work in silos. Life is not about silos at all. So all associations need to drive it. All organizations need to drive it. All federations need to drive it. We need to drive it in one voice. And I think it's high time on broader subjects like sustainability. We should all speak one and deliver as one, because I think that is required. We as ATAI have signed up with UNWTO. We are working with them very closely. The government has signed up with UNWTO during G20, and we are playing a huge role with them. So I think there are a lot of things that we are doing beyond our own capacity. But like I said, more the people, more the strength, and we can all deliver because we are together. And it's one voice, one thought. There are some people who can drive it stronger. Like, let's talk about the airlines. and airlines are a huge, the carbon emission is a huge when it comes to flying. And we've seen countries who have cut down on the domestic flights. They thought that this is covered by rail more, so it's easier to access by rail. And they've removed domestic flights because they are emitting a lot of carbon dioxide. So how do we really, control these things? Maybe we also did another research on aviation, and we realized that literally like 53% of people were ready to pay that 2 rupees extra as long as it was given into sustainability on the fare. The fares are high today, but they're still agreeing to pay a certain small amount so that it can go to a sustainability fund to create sustainability and bring down carbon emission. So there are a lot of things that we need to work to, and we are doing that with the airlines. We're starting that drive with the airlines. We are going to start those drives with other things. Sustainability is to be balanced both ways. Like I said that initially, economically, socially, and environmentally. So we need to build on that platform together to make it very robust industry. And that's the way it should be going.
यूजुअली कहा जाता है कि ड्राइवर्स तभी गाड़ी आपको चलाना सिखा पाएंगे जब उनको खुद ड्राइविंग आती हो, ड्राइविंग रूल्स आते हो. सो क्या ड्राइवर्स को ड्राइविंग रूल्स आती है, इफ़ यू नो व्हाट आई मीन?
No, that's a funny question for me. It's not, I really can't answer that. I can answer that for myself, and I'm very committed to it. And I think I see myself being very committed to it till the time I'm alive, not only for sustainability, for tourism, because I think it's in my blood and I'm very passionate about it. I would love to act with people who are passionate as I am. But there you get all types of people in the world. You learn to live with them. You learn to teach them. Sometimes they learn from you quicker. So it's
Indeed,
fine.
indeed. Sandeep, anything?
Shruti ji, I want to say this. I want to announce something that the president of the HRAWI, through his initiative, just signed an MOU with the CII IGBC, which is the Indian Green Building Council. Guess what? Now we are completely partners. And therefore, we believe that the initiative of becoming green has already started. That train has already left. And I'm so happy you mentioned, collaborations. Collaborations important? Yes, they are. But I think each person should look at their own sphere of influence and be very, very, they should respect it. I just wanted to show you something.
Sure.
I use this. Please look at this. Madam. And some people look at it and say it's a single-use plastic. I got this bottle 1st of July. I've been carrying it in my bag, refilling it and using it. Do I find it's okay? I think it's okay. I don't throw it out. I think each person, each citizen of this beautiful country should think like this.
Indeed, it's a conscious effort as well. I totally agree with you. Rajan, आपका क्या कहना है?
I think, as everybody said, each individual has to take the responsibility. Government can make laws, but you are saying that drivers have to set an examples also. And I think each one of us has to follow all the rules and regulations, which is very, very important. And we have to make sure that we promote border tourism. Our Indian borders are so huge and vast. We should promote border tourism because that area is not promoted as yet. You have seen Wagah border. Thousands of people go and visit Wagah border, but there is another 2-1-hour drive from there, which is called the Hussaini Wala border, which has a much more better flag hosting ceremony than Wagah border, but the awareness is not there because those who are going to Golden Temple, they visit Wagah. But if the Punjab government or if somebody can promote Hussaini Wala border, there are so many other things also. During PHP Chamber of Commerce, during this pandemic, we did 18 webinars on border tourism. We gave a paper to Ministry of Tourism, which they liked. Then they involved Niti Aayog for this. And we made a report of 170 pages on border tourism covering 18 states of India. And I think in the parliament during the budget session, our finance minister spoke that they will be promoting border tourism in a big way. So these are the small things which we have to take into consideration to make India and the rest of the world travel friendly if we really want to travel from one country to another.
Indeed. Subhash, I can see you would want to add something.
The only thing I want to say is I don't know about the other drivers, but the man who's driving this country, I think he knows his job well. That today India has become the fifth largest economy, and soon he announced the other day at the Pragati Madan inauguration that by his next term, India will become the third largest economy. So I pray to God that the driver who's driving this country lives long, and he's already driving the whole world crazy, and obviously keeping environment and sustainability, our ancient science and our ancient literature also says that the whole world is a family, and so I think, and that's the mission with which our Prime Minister Modi ji is working, and I hope that this nation will show the way to the whole world on what sustainability is, what environment is, and what recycling of resources are. Whether it is, akhbar ki raddi, or it is recycling of plastic bottles, or I think it is recycling of books or clothes. I think in our families, we have seen this happening for generations, and I hope that this country will be a leader in this, in this world of environment and sustainability. And I'm confident that we will do it.
So, Jyoti, what are your thoughts? How long is the road?
Well, I can't predict a time, but rightly said that, we have a good driver, and I think we are achieving everything. And we will achieve this quicker than we think because the world is demanding it. The demand is there. So when you see a demand very high and you're witnessing the downturn of things that are going to be affecting our lives, the way it's going, like fires and floods and rains, and, we will quickly adapt it because we are, as a human beings, we adapt things very quickly. And when we realize it's on our head, we quickly start working towards it also. So it's going to happen. Like right now, I'm in Rajasthan, and I've been asked by the ministry to look into the wetlands. So that's why I was in Calcutta last week and looking at the wetlands. We are developing wetlands quickly next to all the Bandhavgarhs and the Corbett parks and all. So, the government is already working on so many things, and they are involving us into, say, they have already zeroed down on so many destinations where they can, along with going to a wildlife sanctuary, which is the focus, you can even go to the wetlands and develop it. And that's going to be another wetland tourism coming up. So when the world and the government is supporting us to do so many things, I don't think it's going to be very far off. And there is no time for us. If we need the world to stay in a healthy format and our businesses to sustain in the right format, we need to act. And I'm sure when we realize that we are in peril, we will do that and we will achieve it.
कोई पोटेंशियल ड्रॉबैक्स देख रहे हैं आप या कुछ अनइंटेंडेड कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस देख रहे हैं अगर हम इस गोल की तरफ जा रहे हैं तो?
देखिए, जब गोल की तरफ आप जाते हैं आपको चैलेंजेस हमेशा ही आते हैं, कोई नई बात नहीं है. लाइफ इज फुल ऑफ चैलेंजेस एंड वी नीड टू लर्न टू एक्सेप्ट इट एंड वी ऑलवेज डन इट. सो आई एम श्योर जो भी चैलेंज आएगा collectively we are all together and that's what we've been driving at. We will be able to achieve it. चैलेंजेस आएंगे, बहुत आएंगे, एक नहीं 10 आएंगे, पर अगर हमको उनको फेस करना आता है और गवर्नमेंट हमारे साथ खड़ी रहती है, बिकॉज दैट ईज ऑफ बिजनेस, ईज ऑफ डेवलपमेंट, ईज ऑफ bringing practices into place is very important, which only the government can give. But rest is for us to take it as the private partners, and we are willing to take it for them.
Sure. On that note, मैं जाना चाहूँगी Mr. Rajan Sehgal के पास. Last word from you, sir, before we close the show, and from everybody else also.
Yeah, as you know, we have to be, our conscience should be very clear about this, that if we want to save our country and the other world, rest of the world, we have to be very, very educative among, first of all, as an individual, and then we have to create awareness. Like I am going and teaching in various universities, Jyoti ji is going, Subhash ji is going, and we have to give this message that if we want to, for the future generation, who is the future of tourism, that if you want to be really, want to be successful in your career, you have to take care of these things also, and which is very important. The G20 is happening in India from last 1 year, and I have been visited to so many summits, and the cities are very clean, and we should follow that once the G20 is over. The 15th of August is coming very soon next week, and we want to see the Red Fort looks same which looks on the 15th of August throughout the year. Because if you go on the 16th or 17th of August, the Red Fort is again surrounded by so many unauthorized things. So we want to see these things throughout the year like this, not on a particular day. So if we keep this in mind, I think we'll achieve this target, and we achieve our goal.
Sandeep, very quickly from you, please.
Yes, madam, I think you've done a great job of bringing this program together. I think you've done a great job bringing these solvers together. Believe me, even 4 years ago, nobody would have come on this panel talking about the same subject. Today, it is a reality. I am a very optimistic person. I'm very optimistic about hospitality and sustainability. And I walk the talk. Again, I say that this is a possibility. Are we going to get 10 challenges? Like Ms. Miles said, absolutely. But you know what? We are here to face them. God
Indeed.
bless you, and thank you for having us here.
Indeed, indeed. Subhashji, closing words from you, please.
There is a saying, necessity is the mother of invention. मरता क्या नहीं करता. मेन चीज़ ये हो रही है कि there is forest fires, there is global warming, glaciers पिघल रहे हैं. हम लोगों को कहते हैं कि अलास्का हो आओ, साउथ पोल हो आओ, before they melt. So if we have to save this planet from the disaster of global warming, and we have to save this planet for the succeeding generations, then I think we have to take immediate action. It is now or never. And all of us, and I also compliment you for bringing, and your channel for bringing this program and highlighting sustainability and environment. But I think if we all take a pledge that we will, as rightly mentioned, that we have to walk the talk. If all of us try to walk the talk in our lives and in our companies and our environment, and we send the message to our employees, to our co-workers, to our family and our extended family members. And we, the Sikh revolution was started by the Panch Pyaras. The French Revolution was started by the 7 people. So I think we are 5 people here, including you. So let us start an sustainability and environment revolution, and let us show the world that India means business, and our ancient wisdom of Ayurveda, our ancient wisdom of, farming, is all there. It's there in our scriptures. It is there in our Sanskriti. By aping the West, we have been sidetracked, and let us get back on track, and let us all be on a fast track to bring back sustainability, recycling, and energizing our industry, our agriculture,
Right.
Everything around us. With these words, I once again congratulate you and thank you.
Thank you. So
for
that
giving
was
this
Subhash
opportunity.
Goyal, Member, National Advisory Council, Ministry of Tourism. I was also joined by Jyoti Mayal, who was President TAI. And also the part of the discussion was with Rajan Sehgal, who was co-chair of PHDCCI, and Sandeep Talaikar, MD, Jackson Hospitality. Thank you all for all your valuable insights and thoughtful contribution to this discussion. And sustainable tourism is not merely indeed a passing trend or a marketing gimmick. It is a fundamental shift towards responsible travel that respects our planet, values local cultures, and empowers communities. As we move forward, let us continue to promote and support sustainable tourism, recognizing it as a powerful tool to create a brighter, more sustainable future for the global travel industry and the world as a whole. Together, we can shape a more responsible and mindful approach to travel, ensuring that the beauty and wonders of our planet can be enjoyed by generations to come. For now, this is Shruti Sharma signing off, और आपसे यही अपील रखेंगे हम कि आप पेड़ बचाएं, पेड़ लगाएं और अपनी तरफ से जितना भी पर्यावरण के लिए कर सकते हैं वो बिट ज़रूर करें. थैंक यू.